You learned something. Did you know that?
I knew that.
Just like
Come
the
on.
oldest guy on this panel, Woj.
Hey!
Hold on.
Big game tonight.
What's the big one we've been
What's the oldest stadium in the NFL then?
It's Soldier Field.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, it was
Even though they remodeled it.
You passed
Or
your
Lambeau.
test.
Remodeling doesn't count.
You passed the
Okay,
I know.
test.
You can have a little work done, but if it's the same thing, it's the same thing.
Brainiac.
Still as many rings. Still as many rings. So hey, good morning. Great to have you with us. It's game day.
Game day, baby.
Chiefs coming up tonight. Woj is back. Yeah, Brady's here. TJ's here.
Woj, we really missed you.
2 weeks.
We did. Woj, let me tell you.
2 weeks. I had no idea what the answer to this question was because you weren't here last week.
Yeah.
So I find myself wondering once again, as I often do before a Lions game, Woj,
Yeah?
what is this game?
Well, I heard last week these two dummies gave bad answers. That's what I heard.
No, our pitch was off a little.
Yeah,
We weren't high enough.
All right, I'm going to say something that's going to sound really stupid, okay?
That's a first.
But just play along, all right? I'm imploring the Lions or suggesting to the Lions,
Listen
do
up,
not
Lions.
take the Chiefs lightly. The Chiefs are scrambling.
Yeah.
They've lost. They're 2-3. People are talking about them possibly not making the playoffs. They've lost all one-score games this season. They're beat up a little bit, not as much as the Lions. And the thought is Father Time catching up to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? I'll tell you this: the refs are catching up to them. The Chiefs had 13 penalties last week against Jacksonville, which never used to happen. Are the Chiefs beginning to fall? The Lions cannot think that way because Mahomes is still formidable.
Hey, Teach.
Yeah.
I waited 2 weeks for him to tell me not to take Mahomes lightly.
I mean, that's the most boring Woj
That
segment
was
ever.
joking. I'm joking.
Nobody's ever going to take the Chiefs lightly.
They're 2-3.
I know that. It's early in the season.
What's their magic number?
4.
I'll tell you what, though.
Sorry using irony on you
The thing
guys.
about these Chiefs thing, and Woj might be onto something when it
use an
comes to normally when you play the Chiefs, like there has been a narrative that you're not only playing them, you have to play perfect because maybe that plays a part in tonight's game because obviously everybody wants to see your stars, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, win games.
Are you seeing the officials
Chiefs,
that are gonna be
I'm not saying that yet,
Yeah.
but we'll have to watch tonight. But the biggest difference so far through 5 games is Kansas City was 10-0 last year in one-score games. This year they're 0-3.
Yep.
And but this is still a team that, Woj, I promise you, the Lions are not going to take lightly. They know this is a
Now that I told them.
championship caliber roster with championship level coaching. Dan Campbell, that's the challenge this week is to find a way to get his guys to step up to another challenge.
Makes me think if you're not going to take them lightly, you might want to come out sprightly.
And Miller take it
You took your
away.
poem. No poem. No poem.
That's all I had
No
written
poem.
down.
Miller
Only
won.
one poem
Miller wins. Miller wins.
Arrowhead was the site of the Lions coming out party a couple years
Yes,
ago.
it was.
And now these games feel like their norm. If the Lions win tonight, it'll be 40 wins in their last 50 games.
Which brings you
All right, which brings you to what?
And which brings me to the Lions used to play on Sundays at 1, back when I had my hair in a bun, back when Dapper was dour and the fans were irate, back when Woj could be home in his gin chair by 8. Then Dan Campbell's Lions rose to new heights. Now their stars stay shining in primetime lights. They used to say the Chiefs would never show cracks. These quarterbacks once were on much different tracks. They used to say Jared couldn't win outside domes. He's already beaten Patrick in his own Mahomes. So the Lions have the Chiefs back in their sights. To Arrowhead they go, thieves in the night.
Whoa!
How wasn't I in that?
Next week, buddy.
How long did you practice that for,
next
Dr.
week.
Seuss? Good
Pretty good. He's like an actor learning lines. I'm impressed that he never looks down. All right, let's get to the Figer Law injury report. Look, we've already talked about it. We know the secondary right now is beat up, but there was a little teeny tiny bit of good news this week as Dan Campbell came out on Monday and said Terry Arnold's going to be out for a while, a long time. And then apparently there was a second opinion, which Dan Campbell says is going to not mean surgery right now, which is key. So maybe they get him back earlier. TA has been upbeat. That's obviously good. So we'll give you that little nugget for a Sunday morning and say that's the good news on the injury front. But for the Lions, and Birchie mentioned this was their coming out party a couple of years ago. They hung the Super Bowl banner, and then the Lions took care of them that night. This is the big picture brought to you by the Macomb County Veterans Services. Aiden Hutchinson on that game and how things have changed over the last couple of years. It's a different mindset.
And that was kind of, I feel like a confidence thing, knowing we could go in there and do that. And now flash forward a couple of years, I feel like we're at a point where, we believe we can compete against anybody, and we're going to go in there and try to execute our game plan the best to our ability and hopefully come out there with a win.
My memory of that night is just how many Lions fans were there. It was
one of the first invasions.
Yeah, it really was. It's kind of set the tone for the rest
not
of them.
fair that the Lions get 17 home games. Their crowd.
They do. What are you talking about?
Let's get to three things to watch. Three things we're keeping an eye on in this game that you might want to keep an eye on as well that might indicate how things are going. Brought to you by Michigan First Credit, number one. And you'll see right next to it says, duh. Mahomes, TJ.
I already said that.
Well, do you want to take this one?
No, it's all you.
Please be quiet while I talk.
so difficult.
Look, Mahomes, not a great rushing team. He is the leading rusher on this team. 28 carries, 190 yards. But all three games that he's been their leading rusher, they're 0-3 this year. Look, you have to have a disciplined pass.
So let him run.
This is not like, that's what I'm saying too.
right
Let him
ahead.
have 100 yards, who cares, as long as he doesn't beat you with his arms. But this is back to a disciplined pass rush, much like we saw against Baltimore. You played Joe Flacco, you played Jay Browning, who was a little bit mobile, but you have to be careful with Patrick Mahomes. He can find that open gap. Aiden Hutchinson mentioned it this week. If we're rushing four guys, that means there's two open gaps. If we get out of our discipline and, hey, I'm going to go inside on this, he's going to take the outside. You have to come up with a good plan, especially from these defensive ends. I think the defensive line and the interior guys have been doing a good job pushing the pocket, but I think the defensive ends, if Al-Quadin Muhammad can go low underneath, get Hutchinson up high, you're going to really force Mahomes into kind of just dancing around that pocket. And he's shown that if you couldn't put some pressure on him, he likes to get the ball out of his hands pretty quick. But if he holds on to it, if that first read's not there, you can get some pressure on him. And he's shown so far throughout this year that he will give you some opportunities to take that ball away.
You said it. What they did to Lamar Jackson is probably the blueprint of what you want to do in this game. Number two, let Sonic and Knuckles cook. Whoa, Joe.
Oh, those are the running backs.
They are,
Okay,
yes.
where they're
Can I
Gibbs and
talk during
Montgomery.
your segment?
Yeah,
Or you wanna
yes,
go?
you
Okay,
can.
go for it.
Almost every time the Lions play, they have an advantage in the running game with that running back tandem.
What do you mean almost?
Okay, every time.
Yeah,
they
thank
pretty
you.
much do. And you need to really seize it in this game because Kansas City, not so good in run defense. The Chiefs are 21st against the run, but 31st in run, win, stop rate.
Whoa!
You don't know what that is?
You don't know what that is either.
Yes, I
You
do.
saw
Where
that
did you
saw
see that?
somewhere. You don't know what
Run,
that
stop,
is.
win rate. That's 31st. And the Lions can have the 7th best rushing offense. You can get into a shootout with the Chiefs. The Lions have proven they can. Jared Goff has proven
the number
he
one
can.
scoring team in the
Yes,
NFL.
But I wouldn't. Why bother when you can hand the ball to Gibbs and Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles all day long?
And you know
Someone
what?
showed Woj
When
Pro
they have the
Football
ball,
Focus.
you know who doesn't have the ball? Patrick Mahomes.
Hello.
Yeah, there you
Woj
go.
found a new tool.
Number three, Birchie, crime pays.
Yeah, takeaways have been the emphasis for this defense since the start of camp. Kelvin Shepard said he wanted his players to hunt the ball like a pack of wild dogs. Well, they're starting to feast. 3 takeaways last week, 3 the week before that, 9 through 5 games, tied for 3rd in the NFL. And they're coming via interceptions, they're coming via punch-outs, they're coming via strip sacks from all levels of this defense, and they're becoming contagious. But Mahomes and the Chiefs are no easy prey. They've turned it over just twice this season, second fewest in the NFL. But all it takes is one to swing what could be a tight game. And I go back to the last time these two teams played in 2023. It was that Brian Branch pick 6 that flipped the game on its head and eventually led the Lions to a win. That was a gift off the hands of Kadarius Toney, who no longer plays for the Chiefs. But if the Lions can pry one from the hands of Mahomes, they'll be in good shape today.
All right, those are 3 things we're keeping an eye on in this game. We're getting you ready for it. It's coming up later tonight. Primetime matchup, Lions and Chiefs. We'll take a break. Come right back after this.